Have you ever considered a world stripped of color and flavor? A world without almonds, apples, or blueberries? This is a future that could become a reality if we fail to support our most precious pollinator, the bee. While the public often focuses on saving forests or mitigating water pollution, the bee is arguably the single most important insect, vital for both global economy and the stability of the natural world. In this brief presentation, I will discuss the essential functions of the bee, detailing how these insects provide essential food security, serve as ecosystem architects, and face critical threats that demand human understanding. Bees are directly responsible for pollinating roughly one-third of the human food supply, supporting most of the fruits, vegetables, seeds, and nuts, which is discussed in the Bee Conservancy. The loss of these pollinators would have devastating consequences for our grocery aisles, impacting everything from high-value specialty crops to basic staples. For instance, without bees, we would lose 100% of almonds, 90% of apples, as well as blueberries. This is researched in the Honey Bee Colony Collapse Disorder by Renee Johnson. In the United States, managed honeybees alone contribute over $15 billion annually to the value of crop production. Similarly, in the United Kingdom, estimates suggest it would cost farmers 1.8 billion pounds a year to manually pollinate crops if bees were not available to do the job. This is explained by Charlotte Varela in her article. Beyond direct human consumption, bees also pollinate forage crops. This is used for animal feed, making them crucial contributors to the stability of the meat, egg, and dairy industries as well. The economic health of farming communities is linked to the survival of the bee. Beyond agriculture, bees act as architects of the natural environment as well, performing essential tasks that sustain biodiversity. They are the essential prop that holds up the entire food web. By pollinating wild trees and wildflowers, bees ensure that these foundational plants can reproduce and flourish. Essentially, bees provide food and shelter for countless species, which in turn become food sources for larger insects, birds, bats, and mammals. Without bees, the reproductive ability of these foundational plants collapse, leading to eventual decline in populations across all trophic levels. It is important to note that this indispensable work is performed by thousands of species, including native and solitary bees, not just honeybees. In fact, native species such as the red mason bee have been found to be up to 120 times more efficient at pollination than the non-native honeybee species that are often managed by beekeepers, underscoring the necessity of protecting the diversity and population health of all bee species, regardless of their honey production. Despite their immense importance, bee populations worldwide are facing a decline, driven by three critical threats: habitat loss, chemical pesticides, and climate change. The expansion of industrial agriculture and human development destroys natural spaces, eliminating both nesting sites and critical food forage sources. A key example is in the UK, where 97% of wildflower meadows have been lost since the 1930s, removing the diverse, continuous food supply that many of the species rely on. Second, the widespread use of chemical pesticides introduces toxins to the environment. These chemicals are designed to deter pests, but inevitably kill or impair non-target species like bees, compromising their navigation systems, suppressing their immune responses, and reducing the viability of their colonies. Third, climate change. This disrupts the delicate synchronization between bees and the flowers they pollinate. Extreme weather events and rapidly changing seasonal timings can cause flowers to bloom earlier or later than usual, meaning that when bees are active and ready to forage, their critical food sources may not be available. This mismatch in timing starves the bees, severely limiting their reproductive success and the colony strength. In summary, the bee is crucial. They support our global food supply through a multi-billion billion-dollar economic contribution. They serve as a foundation for the ecosystem structure, and their populations are rapidly disappearing due to habitat loss, chemical use, and climate change. Bee health is directly linked to the human well-being and economic stability. By grasping the specific challenges bees encounter, we can better understand the necessary actions to support them. Taking steps such as making informed decisions about garden management, like avoiding chemical pesticides and choosing bee-friendly plants, providing these pollinators with essential food sources and safe environments. Recognizing the ecological importance of bees translates into a clearer understanding of how to sustain our shared environment. Thank you.